Only I can get a holy short sword, and then I'd be good. Oh, seems pretty good too. And then so Seal won't have to keep buffing me for charisma, anyways. I might as well go and no, I'll just grab that for now. For now, that's all I'll grab. Okay, where's that scorching ray at? Oh. Okay. This is grand. This is grand. Oh, actually, I should probably spin in. Start dialogue. I want to talk. Fine. Jeez. Don't talk to me. Oh, we did get some new quests, though. No, these are all done. Yeah, I think there's... A few to the faithful. Oh, actually... Huh. Anyways, know thy enemy. Any lead could be crucial. It's not possible that the demons have left no trace. Attack out of nowhere. Talk to Anevia. We will do that. The final sunset of winter. Patrol from Destin has disappeared without a trace. What happened to the soldiers? Were they killed? Were they kidnapped? Were they deserters? They went missing on the southern road. On southern road from the city, it is only sensible to begin searching. Middle game. Okay, order the Crusades craftsman to improve the relic. Okay. Form the staff council. Okay. Okay.
I can handle it.
Boink. And let's talk. The girl's ruby eyes stare watchfully at a passersby who don't notice her even at arm's length. She turns to you, her face a mixture of contemplation, sadness, and admiration. They're amazing, aren't they? We're being attacked by demons with unusual powers. Do you know anything about them? Back in the Lucian era, there were rumors about terrible experiments that Baphomet and Discari performed on their troops to make them stronger. Here on the material plane, these rumors were embellished with lots of details. Some say the demons undergo rituals acquired from Zon Kuthon. Others say they feed on the blood of angels, or Lipa, or demon lords. Still, others say that there are no experiments and Baphomet is just bringing back fighters from the future. A future in which the demons have already taken all of Galarian. Is there a grain of truth in any of these ramblings? There's no way to know. Naturally, none of these rumors give any indication of where these demons come from. I'm sorry I can't help. The only thing that's clear is that the lowly fighters in the army of the Abyss are as puzzled by this as we are. What am I? Okay, just in case. It's good that you're here. Shall we be silent together? Do you like silence? I used to talk a lot before, and all of it was a lie. My words ruined so much, I like silence more now. What are you doing here? I'm watching. I'm listening to their conversations, studying their faces. I'm trying to understand what they truly are. Have you learned? Why do you like to watch people? You know, in my old life, I thought I knew everything about them. I was a master of seduction after all. I knew how to tempt a mortal into doing anything I required. I could trap them in a lie, or lie myself and never get caught. It's disgusting to remember, but that was my life for many centuries. Wow, okay, she's actually centuries old. Now I see I knew nothing. The demon warrior probably also considers himself an expert on mortals because he's killed so many of them. He certainly knows where to thrust the spear for a quick death and where to thrust it for a long and painful one. And he thinks that's enough. My knowledge, it was of the same kind. I ruined many mortals without learning the first thing about them. Now I watch them to understand them. This won't give my victims back their lives, of course, but still, by growing closer to these mortals, it's like I'm paying back some part of my debt to my victims' memories. Don't you think you're being a little creepy? What? Really? Why? I don't mean any harm. Have you learned anything new about mortals? They love cats. Arushale speaks in a very serious manner, as if sharing an important scientific discovery with you. But then a moment later, she smiles to give the joke away. Seriously, have your observations of humans led to anything? I wouldn't want to draw any rash conclusions. I've only been watching them for a short while, but I think I've understood one thing. The succubi have a saying, mortals always lie. If a mortal isn't talking, it means she's busy lying to herself. But now I see this isn't true. Mortals aren't liars, you're dreamers. Each of you creates a huge daydream for yourself and everyone you share your life with. It isn't exactly a lie because the daydream is your truth. Hey, let me ask you another question. Of course. Tell me about yourself. I'm afraid you won't like what I'm going to tell you. I'm still up for learning. Where does succubi come from? Did you have a childhood? No. Well, yes, but in brief. The Abyss is nothing like the mortal world. Rushlee makes a gesture in the air, trying to find the right word. You remember life since conception. No, wait, you don't remember that part, do you? But certainly you know everything since birth. We do not. Normally when a human dies, the Lady of Grace decides which plane they go to. Most often, those who arrive in the Abyss turn into larvae. No, the little worms no one notices until you step on them. They crawl in the mud for centuries, devouring each other. And the strongest ones turn into demons. I don't know how the transformation happens. Maybe we hatch out of them, like caterpillars out of butterflies. Like caterpillars out of butterflies. No, wait, it's the other way around. Or maybe greater demons sculpt us out of them, like so much clay. I don't know what happened to the larvae, but they used to make me. And my own memory begins with vague, fragmentary images, terrors, executions, orgies. I remember some poor lad, half gnawed by the larvae, who was crying and begging to be killed, and I pointed at him and laughed and said I wouldn't. Desna, forgive me. So ashamed. Damn. 1 second, chat. How did you end up turning against the abyss? Temptation. Harushale smiles sadly. Strange, isn't it? So many people believe that being good is important, but it's boring and unpleasant. And all that's enjoyable and tempting pertains to evil. Even the servants of kind gods often think so, do they not? You have no idea how easy that makes the role of a temptress. Well, it was my great fortune to discover that it's not always like that. My last victim was a priest of Desna, the tender of dreams. As you know, demons do not sleep. Mortals always compare their greatest moments to dreams, so I decided it would be interesting to see for myself, and while I was at it, give me goddess to mock Desna. The priestess lay in my arms, and dying of my kiss. I remember everything, every smallest detail. The cold sweat on her skin, her eyes rolled back into her head, her weak whisper. So difficult to recount. Well, I dove into her mind to see what mortal dreams were like. The goddess saw me in her realm, and it turned out I remained there far longer than I planned. What did Desna do to you? As a punishment, she gave me mercy. I often think, why me? She could easily have blown me away like smoke. With a flick of her finger, the gods rarely trouble themselves with the lives of mortals, and even less so with demons, but for some reason of her own, she paid me special attention. She woke in me the memories of the sinners whose souls were used to create me. All those humans. I knew nothing of them until Desna showed me. Each of them had their own dreams, and a world without pity trampled each of them and placed them on a path that led to the abyss. Their memories, all their hopes and pain. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to talk about this. The tears well up in the succubus's eyes. The most important thing I realized that every mortal is a little world of hopes and dreams, and that although I might be a succubus, I didn't have to live forever with those beastly, boring pleasures and tortures of the abyss. I can be free. I can be myself. If only I can understand who I am. You don't know who you are? What of you? Do you know who you are? Are there many mortals who can make that claim? Before returning me to the mortal realm, Desna whispered something to me. I can still hear her words. She asked me, and what do you dream of? I don't know. I still don't. You see, demons are simple creatures. Each is guided by 2 or 3 strong sins. Before my conversion, my sins were all I was. A ball of desire without anyone behind them doing the desires. Desires for sex, for flattery, and food. But now I have me, and it's amazing, but it's so complicated. What did you do after Desna converted you? I traveled. In the beginning, I thought it was wise to keep away from demons and their temptations. Run off to Absalom, or perhaps even further, to another plane, but then I realized that I didn't deserve freedom yet. The abyss was still in me. It called me, tempting me, seducing me. If I ran away, I would soon return my old habits. Harushale forces the word from her mouth. That is why I came here, to join the war, to remember who my enemy is, to defeat the demons, not just for the mortal world, but for myself as well. Because if I don't kill my past, it will always be reaching for me. I'm a wonderful liar. I'm no longer proud of it, but it's still true. The demons never suspected my treason until the very end. I lived as a spy and regularly reported back to the priests of Desna whatever I learned. Naturally, I concealed my identity from them as well. I would never have been caught. But when I learned that Dascari was planning an attack on Canabros, there was no time for caution. I risked everything to warn you, and paid with my freedom. Thank you for not running from evil, but confronting it. Yes, I'm glad I did, but you know, it's hard. Evil calls me back every day, and when it's so close, what if one day I grow tired of fighting? So do you worship Desna now? The goddess did a lot for me, more than I ever deserved. Asking anything more of her would be impudent. I'm grateful to her, but I try not to trouble her with my prayers. Thank you for your answers. May I ask you a personal question? The kind of question a mortal might ask a succubus. You want to talk about sex? Ursula looks you in the eye. Ask me anything, I'll not keep secrets from you, but don't expect to hear anything lighthearted or pleasant. The kiss of a succubus is deadly, isn't it? Not just the kiss, any caress of any kind sucks the life from mortals, and there's nothing I can do about it. Ursula touches her lips ever so slightly. For mortals, tenderness is tenderness, and violence is violence. But I don't know what it's like to kiss and not inflict pain. I just hope my observations of mortals will help me understand young lovers, old spouses, even what mortals condemn as promiscuity. To me, it all looks like something amazingly human. You know, a drop of vital energy is a small price to pay for your kiss. Don't joke like that. For me, it's not a joke at all. I'm sorry. It wasn't meant to upset you. Never mind. Just try not to tempt me. You know, it's hard for me to control myself. So wait, you mean you don't just watch people during the day out in the street? Well, I never touch anyone. I never harm anyone. I just watch and listen. Is that bad? No, it's not bad. Just don't get caught. I can promise you that. What is sex between demons like? Everything demons do is sort of cannibalism. Each devours mortals and other demons in their own way. Some enjoy literally tearing off pieces of flesh with their teeth. Others like to subdue and turn their prey into slaves. At living tools. Some feed on others' humiliation. It comes in different forms, but the essence is always the same. Another being is an object to be used for your own pleasure. Demon sex doesn't differ from any other type of violence. In my former life, it wasn't something I did to others, or others did to me. Only one person ever received pleasure, not the other. Do you still feel desire? Ursula keeps a long silence as she searches for the right words. You see, on the one hand, my succubus nature remains with me. I feel the desire I feel is the one from my old life. When I look at any mortal, I immediately imagine how it looks away. But that feeling, that desire, it's not what mortals feel. When you like someone, you don't ponder how good it would feel to drink their soul, do you? You think about how good it would feel to be together. Together, you see, you know how to want someone, and at the same time, not want to destroy them. For me, it's always one and the same. I'm not even talking about love, just the common mutual affections of mortals, when they're not poisoned with violence. Now I know that I've never felt it. It's hard to imagine how it's even possible. Thank you for being so open. Tell me about the life in the Abyss. I can't tell you about all of the Abyss. I've only seen a small part. If you like, I can tell you about the Midnight Isles and Alushanira. Yeah. In the ocean of Vishira, not far from the mouth of the river Styx, there is a chain of islands. This is the realm of Nocticula, the queen of the succubi. There is no sun there, only a moonlit night, alternating with moonless one, alternating with a moonless one. More beer. Each of the islands is one Nocticula's trophies, the remains of a powerful entity that perished at her hands. As you see, you cannot take a step in the abyss without treading on corpses. Ooh. Alushiniera. The Porphyry city is Nocticula's capital. There is no city like it in the mortal world. Absalom is a village in comparison. Millions, I don't exaggerate, millions of demons and mortals live there. Demons and mortals? Some come voluntarily, not only from Galarian, but from other planes as well. Nocticula keeps an open boundary and enjoys having many guests, merchants, and travelers in the city. Some arrive in chains. The slave trade is the most thriving business in the city. From afar, the city may seem a merry place. Many of its dwellers do enjoy themselves until it's their turn to become someone else's toy. It's a city of suffering, of cheerful, festive torments that everyone in the city inflicts on those around them. What are some places of interest in Alushiniera? The heart of the business quarter is the flesh markets where the slave trade takes place. I grew up in the mansion of Lady of Alexia. Her house is always full of guests doing their best to entertain her. Those whose performance is not to her liking risk remaining at her house forever. The main attraction of the Succubi city is, of course, the brothels, the 10,000 delights. I need not tell you what they offer. If you can imagine it, someone is selling it. Not far from there, you can find the harem of Ardent Dreams, which serves as a sort of city hall. Shamira Nocticula, as right hand and mayor of Alushiniera, receives her visitors there. For those who prefer bloodier sport, there are many arenas in the city. The most famous of them is Battle Bliss. Battles run continuously without breaks and without rules. It doesn't matter what trickery you use to win, it only matters how much fun the crowd is having. And above it all towers the House of Silken Shadows, Nocticula's palace. Hundreds, thousands of towers and domes, adorned with jewels. There are legends of what happens inside. Many have striven to experience the delights of the Succubi Queen's palace, forgetting that it was built for her pleasure, not theirs. What can I tell you about Nocticula? She's called the Lady in Shadow. They say that she was the first succubus. She's far from the most powerful of the demon lords, but this hasn't kept her from being the ruin of many creatures significantly more powerful than herself, even building her kingdom upon their bones. They say that, like Lamashtu, she strives to turn herself from a demon lord into a true goddess. Wow. She enjoys killing, but her favorite tools are seduction and deception. She only stoops to crude violence when there are no other games to play. And even then, she backstabs from the shadows. Her favorite weapon is a crossbow, although a silk beard would suit her better. If you should ever meet her, do not believe a word she says, and do not fall for her provocations. Do not try to beat her at her own game. And most importantly, remember, the worst mistake anyone can make is to underestimate her. Thanks for the information. What do you think of the powers I gave you? It's a great temptation. I don't know if I should be trusted with such power. I certainly wouldn't trust myself with it. When you have so much power, it's easy to decide you're a god and the mortals are your toys. True. I'll be watching. Okay. There's definitely something I want to give. I want to see real quick. For science, Jet. For science. For science. Do. Oh dear. And the game is stonk. Come on. Come on, game. You can do it. Oh dear. Oh, 23. 24. 100. Do. Boop. All right, here's this. I'm not kidding. I can easily spare a bit of idle essence for the sake of a kiss. Ah, Luce's cheeks blush faintly. Her lips open a little, and she wets them with the tip of her tongue. Sighing deeply, she answers with apparent effort, I never wanted to feel such pleasure again. Not with anyone. If I kiss anyone, I want to be sure that the kiss brings us both pleasure, not pain. I should like to kiss someone again. Only as a mortal, not as a demon. Okay, I think that was actually a better option. Okay, all right. Now I just go through all this again, and we should be okay. You think powers have to go. Blank silence. Check my stats. I think I'm always going to be riding the line between lawful and neutral good. Oh boy. I think that's gonna be my writing line. So, Commander's Banner. Fast healing equal to twice their mythic rank. Vicinity of the Sword of Valor grants the commander fast healing. Okay. Wonder how far the vicinity goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and quick save now. But yeah, I definitely think the route we just went was probably the better route. And rest. Ugh. Yeah, I need to get some more of those. So I'm not even going to waste this.
Did you know that, despite the censure of many developed countries, the mass public executions carried out by the Orders of Hell Knights have put a stop to many individuals who are a danger to society?
Your approval means nothing, individual who is a danger to society.
Oh my.